Hey everyone, it's Heather Moxie and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make the easiest DIY dining table bench you have ever seen. And to be completely honest, it's a DIY, but it's sort of not, and let me explain. So in my hunt for the perfect dining table bench, I actually discovered that many websites have unfinished furniture. And what this means is that they come completely unfinished, no paint, no stain, nothing, not even a finishing coat, and you're free to style it as you see fit. Now, I'm like many of you at home who are probably thinking this is too good to be true, so something I pay attention to are the reviews, review photos, and the weight of the actual product. So I decided I was going to see if this is truly a product that you could make and it looks like it's custom built, and that way I could avoid any giant tools or having to worry about renting them, and so I took a risk. One of my biggest pet peeves when it comes to DIY projects is when a creator tells you it's going to be an easy project and all you need is a table saw, a jackhammer, a concrete mixer, and of course I'm being a little dramatic, but usually these DIYs like this require a lot of tools that very many people don't have. So my hope for this project is that you're able to see that DIY can mean a lot more than just building something from scratch, especially when you don't have the resources necessary to make a beautiful bench like this. For the average person who doesn't have the custom tools to make this bench, it is actually more cost-effective to buy it unfinished rather than build it from scratch. So as you can see, this bench shipped in very decent packaging and it was very heavy. My lovely assistants helped me unbox it, and you can see that it really only comes in a couple of pieces, and I love that it ships this way because I don't have to put it together before I decide what I'm going to do with it. It's not a million different pieces and I don't have to worry about assembly. Once it was all unboxed, I started to think about what I wanted to do with this bench. For my project, I used two different types of stain, a rag as a staining cloth, gloves to contain the mess, and a paintbrush to get into any of the nooks and crannies. Before you apply your stain to your entire project, I do recommend testing it out in a hidden spot, especially if it's a color that you've never used before. You can see that I used one color on the left, another in the middle, and the color on the right is actually the mixture of the two. Another bonus to using wood stain is that there's really no special way to apply it. You really just apply it, wipe off any excess, and let it dry. After I finished staining all of the pieces, I let them sit for a few hours, and that's when I noticed that it was taking on a little bit more of a tan color, and in person you honestly couldn't really tell the difference from how it originally came. So this is when I made the decision to add an additional layer of stain to match that test spot that I had done. This stain had a little bit more of a black undertone or a gray undertone, and again, everything I used will be in the description box, but I used this color combo because I was trying to get this bench to match these bar stools that we have as much as possible. Now, a complete and perfect match is probably not going to happen, so once I was happy with the overall color tone, I let the final coats of stain dry and then moved on to putting it together. I mentioned earlier that this was going to be the easiest DIY dining table bench you have ever seen, and this is why. It comes with only a few pieces, it has all the necessary instructions and tools, and after a few simple steps, it's put together. This thing is sturdy. It is heavy. I flipped it over. It doesn't wobble. It doesn't creak. So if you're someone like me who loves to DIY and put together projects and, make your space look really nice, but maybe you don't have all of the professional tools, yes, you can always rent them, and that is the wonderful thing about hardware stores, but sometimes it's honestly just easier and more cost-effective to buy something like this. After it was all put together, we flipped it over, and then we flipped it over again, and we started on the finishing coat. Now, my go-to is Polycrylic, and that is a water-based sealer. I think for this project, I opted for polyurethane, which is something similar, but again, I will link everything down in the description box. Personally, I prefer the smell of polycrylic. I've found that polyurethane has a much stronger smell than polycrylic, but that is sort of to each their own. I've worked with polycrylic in the past, and so I just prefer that. After about 3 to 4 coats and some light sanding in between, this bench is all finished. I am super happy with how this project turned out, and I'm actually looking forward to finding more unfinished furniture pieces online. There were so many different options, and I really enjoyed the fact that I didn't need crazy tools, and we didn't have to stress about renting them either. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a like and consider subscribing. I have several videos coming out of us updating our house, and so I would love to have you there. For now, I will see you in the next one. Bye!